Hello, everyone, and welcome to Disney WTF, brought to you by the Walt Daily. This is episode
47.
47. We're not sure exactly what, pretty sure this is episode 47. And for those that don't know us by now, we are a Disney couple. One of us is a Disney fanatic, one of us is not, but somehow we've made a way to make this relationship work.
Yeah.
And if you're watching right now, there's some awkwardness going on. I'm leaning onto Lori because we're sharing a mic. And we have a special guest.
Yay!
Hey!
My good friend, pledge brother from undergrad,
Yep.
Eric Lispy Diaz. Welcome.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you
to be
for
here.
coming.
Anytime. Happy to be here.
So, Lispy, as
Yeah.
we know him and love, is a former cast member, which is why he's, other than obviously being a lovely human being, which is why we brought him onto the show, because we're going to talk today about some real deep stuff, some interesting stuff, and some weird stuff, hopefully, about what his experiences were being a cast member. But before that, headlines.
All right. First headline, the biggest headline. Sweet Spells is closing on April 15th.
Sad.
I know, it's super sad.
I know.
I don't know what that is.
So Sweet Spells is in Disney Hollywood Studios. It is a sweet shop. So it has candy and it has baked goods. And it was one of those go-to places that you had to stop by on your way into the park or out of the park. And it also had kind of a cool villain vibe, which I feel like a lot of candy shops don't have in Disney.
Yep.
So it had so much going for it, but it's closing.
I know. And they had the best magical moment. So every time you opened the park and you were the first family there, they'll grab kids and they will go to the back and they will dip whatever they want in the chocolate. And it used to be fun because you would see all the kids covered in chocolate.
That's awesome.
But they will have aprons on. So
Oh, okay. I was about to say, be like, oh my God, they're going to be covered in chocolate for the whole day.
Nah.
It's only 9
Nope.
a.m.
That's funny.
But yeah, it will be for free and it was cute.
So that's closing.
That is close.
Man, what a fun Disney gem, though. Like, what a fun magical moment that's a family could have.
It is.
And it's literally, like, blowing my mind right now because I had no idea that all that happened in there. Like, I just thought, I was like, oh, it was delicious, you know?
I mean, it is delicious, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's always surprises.
You would have had to get there like real early to be that first family, right?
Well, yes, but a lot of people didn't know about it until it just happened.
That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
So working cast members, we know like all the little magical moments that happen daily, so that's how we knew about it.
Oh, so there's multiple magical moments.
Of course.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just what you call that one experience.
No, there's always magical moments in Disney World.
Oh, God. Okay.
This is why he has so much to learn.
So,
Which is why we're here today. My favorite thing to do with Sweet Spells was before you go wait, the 2 hours for Fantasmic, you go in there, you get something to treat yourself with, and you can enjoy it while you're listening to like the music in the stadium and just like relax.
yep,
Like probably from your, day of walking, you just chill.
it's true.
Awesome. But yeah, and April 15th is coming up so soon.
Around the corner.
I
It's
know.
in less than 10 days.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
Way to chime in, Richie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I guess with Disney, I mean, we move forward.
Yep.
And I heard it's actually turning into something like a retail shop, or like a merchandise shop.
More merchandise.
I know, but we move forward. So
Exactly.
that's that. Next headline: Toy Story 4. It's been slated and announced to be released in theaters June of 2019. Exciting stuff. So about 1 year after Toy Story Land opens.
Correct.
I haven't seen Toy Story 3.
Really?
Pretty sure.
Now that's emotional.
Yeah. So I don't know what 4 is going to be like.
It's probably gonna be awesome.
Is this getting to be like Fast and the Furious where it's just too many? I wonder how, like, what's the sentiment?
Well, you said you love Fast and the Furious as a car lover, so why would that happen? Like even Fast and the Furious 25, like whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but generally it's still too many. In general.
I mean, yes, it could be too many. I think they did a great job on the third one. So I'm surprised. Like, they have to have a good story for them to move on to a fourth movie.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
It's always impressive to me how like Toy Story never became one of those franchises to be direct to video.
Yeah.
Like Return of Jafar or something, you know?
Simba's Pride.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those things.
But I mean, it's like one of those things that they're going to spend a lot of money making. They're going to spend a lot of money promoting it. And it's so true what you were saying. Like if they didn't have probably a great script, they probably wouldn't move forward with it anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm ready for my heartstrings to be tugged because it's Toy Story. They've got those moments. It's Pixar. Of course they have those moments. So there's going to be a lot of tugging.
Now thinking about it, I wonder if Andy will be back.
Oh, maybe Andy will have kids. Oh my
But he
God.
gave his toys away to Bonnie.
Maybe he'll adopt Bonnie.
Guys, aren't you? I'm pretty sure you're ruining something for somebody right now.
I mean,
These
I
are just
think-
speculation.
Oh.
First of all, neither of us are affiliated with the Disney company anymore, so I never was. Unless they hire me, if you're listening. But yeah, so I mean, probably the storyline is going to be that Andy's going to adopt Bonnie, he's going to get his toys back, and then that's going to be it. Heartstrings, done. So we'll see what happens in 1 year's time. You're excited for Toy Story Land to open?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how immersive it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I try, whenever something new opens, I try not to spoil the magic by looking at too many pictures, but there's so much news that's released about it that I'm like, okay, I'll just look at all the pictures.
I just imagine that like someone that was part of designing it, like heard you say that, and they were just on the back and like, oh, you're gonna be immersed.
So much immersion.
Yeah, so much immersion. Okay.
All right. Last headline. And I don't know, I included this because it's like one of those things that's like a Disney dream job in a way. The Dapper Dans are hiring.
Ooh.
For anybody who loves to sing a good barbershop quartet, you know, tenor or alto, whatever, sort of, I don't know. They are hiring. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I did post on Facebook how it would be a dream job for me, but I am not male. One.
You have to be male.
You have to be male to be a Dapper Dan. They don't hire Dapper Danas or whatever.
Tapper Dana. We should start that.
But I don't have any talent. Oh, I just hire all the people.
Exactly. We'll
Okay.
be the agency, like the representatives. Brought to you by the Walt Daily.
As long as
Dapper Danas.
Dapper Danas. That sounds like a hit.
And it could be like in Espanol.
Because we're from Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
That's super funny. But yeah, I mean, I think that anybody who has some sort of a talent, like, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Like, that's your job.
That would be dope.
You probably got to see the Dapper Dans a lot.
Every day.
Did you get tired of it? Or
Well,
were you
most
like,
of the-
yes?
Most of
Again.
the time, I really didn't pay attention to them because I was inside City Hall. So, yes,
Gotcha.
I'll see them outside and I'll hear them ring their bells,
Yeah.
but that'll be it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a great segue actually, because we're gonna go out of headlines and we're gonna start talking about you, our friend Lispy.
Hey.
Let's first start off by telling the listeners exactly what you did while you worked at Disney.
Sure. So I started with the Disney company back spring 2009. Yeah. So I started back in spring 2009, the college program. I was in the Tower Terror. I worked there until seasonally till 2011 when I got my internship with guest relations in the Magic Kingdom. And I was there for 5 years. Long time.
Yeah.
So with there, I worked, what did I do? All right, so I did the VIP tours. I did training for any newcomers of guest relations in Magic Kingdom and also globally, which we call globally the 14 parks in Disney Springs. So anyone entering that role, I would be one of their trainers.
Nice.
I also did Grand Marshal, which is one of my favorite magical moments. We'll be able to pick the people to ride the Grand Marshal float before the parade. And we will also pick the veteran of the day to help when we do the flag retreat ceremony. And basically, yeah.
So I met you in 2006 because we pledged the same fraternity at the time for undergrad. back then, were you a Disney fan, or did you become one like after you got the job and stuff? Like, how was that journey for you in terms of you becoming a Disney fan?
Well, living in Florida, I've always been a Disney fan. My mom is the biggest Disney fan.
Oh, nice.
She's the one who brought us every year to Disney. We would go up maybe once or twice a year when we were little, and she would always take us to Disney, always family trips. Sometimes we would just go up early in the morning, do Magic Kingdom, and drive back down the same day.
So they had you at life, like when
Yeah.
you first started.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Much like our
definitely.
kids will be.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So that's how it all began.
Nice.
That's
So then you
awesome.
were ecstatic, like, that was basically a dream job for you in college.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I did wanted to work for the company. I always admire, all their history, their culture, everything they did. It's funny because when I did the college program interview, I was like, oh, what do you want to work? Attractions. Either attractions or front desk. And then they're like, oh, okay, what type of attraction? I'm like, either Haunted Mansion or Tower of Terror. And they're like, why those two? I'm like, I don't have to be happy all day.
That's awesome. What a thing to say in a job interview.
That's funny.
At the happiest place on earth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
That's awesome. So then I wonder, so as a person in the college program, I know that you do have to do like a ranking of some kind, right? For where you decide to work, right?
Correct.
So then to get basically one of your top choices, what was that like?
So basically, if you are ever doing that interview or doing the selection, kind of be strict of what you want. If you for sure want attraction, select attraction and maybe select one other one. I did front desk and I told them either those two or we're not do the program.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people just select everything and they basically put them as custodial or food and beverage.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do those.
You see, and that's always like my wonder, because when you go to the parks and you see on their name tags that they're in the college program, but they're working in in the parking lot, or they're working at food and beverage, I'm just like, wow, is this really what you wanted? Because it couldn't be. I mean, maybe it was your first choice, but really was it? So that's just really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Wow. So at Tower of Terror, tell us about your experience there.
So that was a lot of fun. It was fun just to creep people out.
That's funny.
And it's like a big family in Tower of Terror. We still have cast members who are part of the opening day of the attraction.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's still, I want to say 3. I know TJ is still there and Joy. And I'm not sure. I think that's it for now. So actually 2.
Like, to give Richie some perspective, like early 90s, right?
Yeah, 1993.
Like,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Yep, 93. Jesus, Lesby. So I want to hear like a fact about Tower of Terror that probably no one would know unless they probably worked there. Or like even more than that, like only Walt maybe might know.
I don't think Walt would know.
I know.
But I think the coolest fact is it's the only hotel to be awarded from AAA 13 Diamond Award.
Wow. That's so
Wait.
cool.
The Tower of Terror is also an actual hotel?
No.
So go into the
Okay,
AAA.
I'm confused then.
Because you work in hospitality. So
Exactly.
let's review with Richie the AAA Diamond system.
So there's hotels are ranked, and there's normally AAA would do the 4 Diamond or the 5 Diamond. 5 Diamond is luxury, but 13 doesn't exist. It only goes up to 5. So like the hotel's number is 13. It's infamous for 13. So
Yeah.
they created a special award,
Wow.
which is hanging in the lobby as a part of the queue, but no one sees it.
Until now, because now everyone's gonna be looking for it because
I
they listen
know.
to this podcast.
What a
hopefully.
fun hidden fact.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. We're okay.
I gotta know, the
Yeah.
bellhop costume, what was it like in the summer wearing the bellhop costume?
It's not that bad. We do
Okay.
have short sleeve versions.
Oh, okay.
We do not have to wear that trench coat all the time.
Okay.
But
I literally wanted to know.
That's so funny.
Literally would wanted to know.
But if we were like inside the building, yeah, normally we would wear it because it was always cold.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah, it was always cold and it was just cool to wear inside the building. But outside, yeah, no,
Definitely not.
not at all. Too hot.
Interesting.
And how many times would you say in your tenure at Tower of Terror did you write it? Did you write it every day?
So, yes, unfortunately, yeah. So at the end of the
I thought he
day,
was gonna say no. He said yes.
yeah, no.
Oh,
At
that's
the
super
end of
funny.
the day, so normally as CPs, that's what we call college program students. We would call ourselves closing people, CPs, closing people. So we will always close the attraction, and once all the guests have left the attraction, we will have to write it to make sure all the show quality effects are in place, so we can let engineering know. So there's 4 elevators, so we need 4 people to write it.
Wow, that is so interesting.
That is interesting.
Would you write it alone?
Yeah, we would have to. The first time, it was like scary to write it alone.
That's what
But
I was gonna ask.
After a while, you were just like, oh, it's all good.
Oh, that's the ventriloquist dummy. Not scary anymore.
Oh, that's the general manager.
What? Oh my gosh. Even more creepy.
That used to be actually funny story about the dummy. He used to be able to move around. Like we would grab him and move him around the building to scare the cast members. But later on, they drilled him down, so we can't move him.
Wow.
Also, also probably something no one would ever know
Exactly.
about the Tower of Terror.
But now he's anchored to the floor.
Interesting.
So let's transition out of your college program days.
Okay.
And then you went into guest relations after that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about that. You kind of went over your roles. What were some of your favorite roles at guest relations?
So the fun part of guest relations, it was always we were there to help people. Like we were there to keep Walt's legacy alive, and it's a very honor to be a guest relation if you're a cast member, because it's a role that's been there since Walt started. So it's funny, the first guest relations were always females. Yeah, so
wow.
they used to be the tour guides in Disneyland. When they came over to Walt Disney World, they used to be the tour guides, always helping anyone coming to theme parks for the first time. They would do a little tour to get people oriented and to understand what is the point of a theme park and why can you not see the attractions as soon as you enter the parks. So that was their whole idea, Walt created this to assist people. So it's such a big legacy, and there's so much history and heritage behind guest relations that it was just an honor. Like we have a deepening ceremony, so when we got our deepen, like everyone comes together, applaud, you take pictures, and you feel honored to get that deepen because that means you're fully trained in everything, and you literally need to know everything about the park, from tours to restaurants to pricing to hotels, anything.
So like a Disney ninja,
Yeah,
basically.
basically.
Wow.
We had our resources in case we didn't know our answers, but yeah, you needed to know everything, even tickets wise. We needed to know everything.
So was there a test, like an actual test, or would they just assume that like, okay, like honor system, we know you now?
There was like little questions, basically that they'll ask us. Like you get 2 days of just regular guest relations overview training, 2 days of tickets, which is kind of crazy that we only have 2 days, while with the vacation planners, the ladies in front of the transportation ticket center, they get 5 days. Well, we only get 2, and we need to know how to solve the problems if there are mistakes of tickets.
Well, that's because they're assuming you're a ninja.
Yeah.
And then once in the park you're going to, you have 5 days of training, and your last day is another trainer is doing your assessment, and then a manager is the last one to sign you off.
Oh, okay.
So it all depends.
Interesting.
But super extensive training, though, nonetheless. So the D-pin, now that's something that guest relations people would only wear, or?
Correct.
Okay.
Good. We'll wear the D-pin, and everyone calls us plaids because we wear the plaid vest
Yeah.
throughout the park, so it's easy to spot us.
And that's still current today.
Correct.
Like, so if I see somebody in plaid, I know that they're a Disney ninja.
Yes.
Okay. I
And
want to be
you,
able to spot my ninjas when I'm around them.
not all ninjas wear masks and carry samurai swords.
Yeah.
Now just be
But
careful.
deepens.
Be careful spotting them in the park because they might be with a tour
Oh,
or with
smart.
a celebrity. So
Smart.
be careful.
Okay.
What's it like giving the VIP tours?
So that's actually a lot of fun.
Okay.
It could be crazy but fun. They are expensive, so you need to understand these people are paying a lot of money just for you to guide them throughout the parks. You're basically their own personal concierge. You drive them to the parks, and you just take care of their needs and make sure you put them all the rides they want to do.
Mm-hmm. I oftentimes see on these, like, a VIP family, let's say, that the guest relations cast member is pushing, like, the stroller and, like, little things like that to make the day easier for the adults. And
Well, we push the stroller for a reason. It's to make the family walk faster.
no way! Shut the front door.
Because if not, they'll take forever. They just want a 6-hour tour and they just want to do all these rides. And you're like, but you want to see the parade too? So I have to, you're on a time crunch. So,
what a fun fact. Like, so many mind-blowing moments are happening in Sunroom Studios today. I can't even believe it. Wow.
I want to know, what was, being in guest relations, what was, one of the crazier stories that you would say, you encountered?
So, all right, I'll tell 2 stories. So one of them was when Splash Mountain first got the lap bars. Originally, Splash Mountain never had the lap bar because it was not a safety issue. Because you were fine going down the flume without lap bars. Mm-hmm. The reason they put lap bars is because people would jump off the middle of the ride. So in order to stop people from jumping off, they would put the lap bars. So of course, we put them, whatever. And one guest decided to ride the ride. She claimed she's ridden it before. And she's riding off of something in the middle of the ride. The lap bars swing open. So she thought it was a good idea to get off the ride because she thought she felt unsafe without the lap bar going down the big slide. Well, that caused the ride to go down. And then they have to look for her in the mountain.
Oh my goodness.
Which that ride takes about 45 minutes to restart. So that basically was a 2-hour downtime of that attraction.
Wow.
So she was complaining to the managers over there. They called us and be like, hey, heads up, this guest is coming to guest relations. So I was the one.
She's on the way.
Exactly. So
Wild Goose is
Eagle
coming.
is on the way.
Exactly. So I was the fortunate one to get her. So we in guest relation could be a little bit real. We keep it magical, but we could be real with the guest. So she's talking to me and everything. I'm like, oh, let me ask you a quick question. Is it your first time riding Splash Mountain? Or you've ridden it before? She's like, oh my God, I've ridden it so many times. It's my favorite ride. I'm like, well, do you remember not having a lap bar? She's like, no, it's always had a lap bar. I'm like, no, they're brand new. And the reason we put them is to stop what you did.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And she's like, no, that's ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. She wanted already to say the word she wants to sue us because of everything. We're like, I have to stop all conversation with you.
Yeah.
And that's it. End of conversation. Have a nice day. She's like, no, I want to keep on talking. I'm like, there's nothing we could do. You're ready to write in to sue us. So, end of story.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
And the funniest one, I would say, was a lady. She came to me complaining about It's a Small World, how one of the characters showed their male genitalia to her.
Whoa.
And I was just like,
oh my goodness.
if you can't see it, we won't build it. So they're wearing costumes, man. All under that is just mechanical stuff. There's nothing.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I thought I lifted up. I'm like, I don't know what you're on, but it doesn't happen.
It's interesting.
That is an
Picture
awesome story.
Donald. Yeah, it was Donald.
And it was Donald. He took his
feathers.
towel off. It's under feathers.
That's funny. So, let's go back to the Tower of Terror. What was a crazy or maybe even super funny story from there?
Let's do crazy, because it's crazy to think what parents would do to get their child to ride the ride. So we would get, of course, we have a height requirement in Tower of Terror. And parents would be like, I will sign a waiver for my child to ride. I'm like, it's not the point of signing a waiver. Like, no, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. There's a safety reason why your child cannot ride if they don't meet the height requirement. Like, get that to your head. But we would get that like 3 times a day.
Wow, that's super often.
Yeah.
Wow.
At least I felt I got it. I don't know about that. But at least 3 times.
There he is. Go ask him.
And it's like, it's not only an issue just for, it's not safe for the child, but us as cast members, if we get caught by accident, we're not checking heights and we get caught, we do get written up for it because it is a safety issue.
Yeah.
And that's like 3 points, and you cannot have more than 5 points. So it's like, it's a big issue just for the cast member. Not so much for it's the cast member who loads them in the elevator. That's who gets the points.
Wow.
Interesting.
So be nice to your cast members. We know what we're doing.
I trust you guys. I would trust you with my own children. They're too short? Okay, go stand outside. I'll be here.
Wait, the other crazy one was, a lady told me once, I was at the greeter, so just right at the front of the attraction, she comes up to me, she's like, there's 2 kids in that stroller. I'm like, what? She's like, I've been watching them for 10 minutes, and I don't see their parents, and there's 2 kids in that stroller. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, okay, let me just go and check. So I told my fellow cast member, hey, I'm going to check this out. And when I see, yeah, there's 2 kids. So I go down to them, like, hey, how you kids doing? They're like, just staring at me like, what?
Stranger danger.
I'm like, oh, but where are your mom and dad? Where are they? They're like, I'm like, do you guys speak English? And sadly, they did not. So it made it harder. They didn't even speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Or try to speak a little Portuguese. No, I forgot where they're from, actually. And then, so I just stood there for another, 10 minutes. And then I'm like, all right, it's time to get security involved. So we had to call security. And I let a manager know. Me and my manager were there. We got the kids, little, dolls, kind of like the ones here. And after maybe another 15 minutes, the parents showed up. And we're like, hi, where were you guys?
It's been 30 minutes.
And they're like, oh, we were riding the ride. I'm like, and you left your kids here? Do you guys know you could child swap? They're like, yeah, but my wife didn't want to ride by herself.
Oh my gosh.
We're like, yeah, you can't do that.
Wow.
Because
That's crazy.
someone could grab your kid and take them away.
Yeah.
We're going to be
That's what you
real
guys
now.
should have did. You guys should have just went to let them panic a little bit. Go to take the kids to guest relations and hang out there for a little bit.
I mean, security was...
Yeah, you see what might have happened? When they come back.
Yeah, security was right there when the parents showed up, and that would have happened. They would have gone to guest relation and color all day long.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. But I guess that's why they invented the child swap. Maybe it's just not advertised well?
She said she knew about it.
Oh,
She
okay.
just didn't want to ride by herself.
What is the child swap exactly? I think we talked about it once, but I don't really remember.
So.
So child swap is someone, let's say you have a child that does not meet the height requirement of the attraction. Someone will wait outside with the child while the other person is going to get in line to ride the ride. Either they have fast pass or they stand by. And then once they're off the attraction, that person will go to the greeter, show them their child swap ticket. And they'll go
ticket.
yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like it's a paper fast pass.
Yeah. It's like
cool.
an IOU kind of thing.
Right. Immediately after they get out.
Exactly. But that's done within guests of the park, not cast members.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yes.
pretty cool. So you just go up to a cast member and say, hey, I'm about to swap my kid real quick. Can I get a swap ticket?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And they might ask you to see the child. So,
They ask you to what?
to see the child to make sure they do not meet the
Oh, okay.
requirement.
I heard feed the child for some reason. I was like,
No.
feed the child? Man, that's a lot of
Change the
responsibility.
diaper, you
Yeah.
know.
I do not want this
Get that
IOU.
taken care of. So you mentioned that being Grand Marshal was one of your favorite aspects of guest relations.
Correct.
How did you go about choosing the family that was going to have that magical moment?
That's a really hard question.
Yes.
Because it all depends on the family. I would just, my day-to-day for that day would be just go around and just talk to people.
Just follow your heart,
Yeah.
basically.
Basically.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
nice.
It was just basically with that, just go around, talk to people, see how they're doing, if it's their first time, if they need help, if they were taking pictures, I'll help them take pictures. that'll be the easiest way to get them, where they need help to take pictures.
Oh, and then that's how you start chatting with them?
Yeah, that'll be like the icebreaker.
Nice.
Or
That'd be
they're
awesome.
staring at a map and they don't know what they're doing. Like, I'm like, okay, you look lost. What do you need? And then, just talk to them. And we will always see like what their day was, especially around the 3 o'clock parade, to make sure they were free. If they had dining reservations, it's something we wouldn't want to mess it up, because sometimes it's really hard to get dining reservations in Magic Kingdom. So if they had dining, we'd be like, oh, okay, have a nice day. But if they didn't, or if they had fast passes, that wouldn't be an issue, because we could always fix it. You could get them fast passes for any ride. But yeah, we would talk, and if we liked them, just ask them if they wanted to be the Grand Marshal.
And how often would they say no?
I got one family who said no.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They just, didn't want the attention.
Okay. Understandable, I guess.
Who is the Grand Marshal?
The Grand Marshal. So the Grand Marshal is a person, it's the family who sits on the first float of the parade. So every parade in the U.S. has a Grand Marshal. So they're the main person of the parade. So we would always select the family. They will sit in a car, the Grand Marshal car. They all had their Mickey ears on. That will say Grand Marshal. We would give them their certificate, and then we will have a VIP spot for them to see the parade.
God, it's like life goals.
We know. Like, so we can't go to Disney and look like we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
We have to look lost.
the key,
Or
yeah.
like we're struggling to take a photo.
That's the key.
So we can get selected. And it always has to be like around people wearing plaid. Like,
Yeah, you just walk around
plaid.
like, oh, where am I?
No.
Is this Disney?
They would not be wearing plaid,
Oh, twist. Twist.
That's funny.
so you never know who it is. Yeah.
Wow. Goodness. Well, we're just going to take our luck.
Yeah.
It is.
You remember the Full House episode where they went to Disney?
Yep.
How did they get selected for Grand Marshal? How unfair is that? Michelle got to be princess for the day, and they get selected on the parade. Like, that's so unlikely.
That was fixed.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, it's so unlikely.
I thought that was genuine. I was like, oh, that was they paid Disney. Clearly.
I mean, that was all.
I'm just pointing it out. It doesn't make any sense at all.
So, what was not so magical, I guess, about being a cast member?
The hours you work. You do work a lot of hours, and also you don't get paid well. Especially those who work frontline, like the attractions and food and beverage, and front desk. You basically get paid minimum wage.
So yeah, so I was gonna say, like, you're saying not paid well. It's more like for the job that you have, you don't think the value of, like, I guess what you're being paid is like would be up to par.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and it's also, it's just the pay. Sometimes food backstage was expensive because it is a third party. Now it's the Deco Magic, so it'll be like a burger and fries and a drink will be like $7
For your lunch, for like cast
Yeah.
members' lunch. Wow.
You would think that it would be included in just your day. Like, that'd be so nice. I mean, but
It would be nice.
yeah. But I guess
It would
they.
be nice to get free lunch.
I know. I guess they have tens of thousands of cast members to feed them.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot of people.
Or even
Yeah.
just like cheaper. Like I know Universal cast members, they have their own thing, and they just pay $3 for their lunch.
what a deal.
Yeah.
Gosh. Sucks. Sorry.
It goes with the job. You're not really there to do, the aspect. You're just there to make people happy
Yeah.
Yeah.
and keeping that Walt legacy.
Yeah. And I guess maybe that, through the tough, having that tough kind of decision to work for low pay, long hours, if you have that kind of backbone of keeping that legacy, maybe it brings, maybe it evens out a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
Especially you can make someone happy, you make someone day. Just a little thing, just like letting them go through the Fast Pass queue, or just giving them a balloon, or they drop an ice cream, you go and grab a new one for them. Stuff like that to make their day. Yeah. Or you just be there for someone they're upset and they just want to scream at you and you just listen. You made their day.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I've got a curveball question for you.
Ooh,
Yeah, me too.
Do you want to go first?
No, you go.
Okay. What are your opinions about the Instagram Disney wall phenomenon.
I don't get it.
Okay.
I mean, when I started, that wasn't a thing, and then all of a sudden it was like when I was leaving the company, I'm like, what's up with all these walls? Like now there's the purple wall, which is getting changed, the bubblegum wall, which I see right here,
Yeah, on our
the
table.
moss wall in Avatar. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And it's funny, like I went to Avatar during the previews with Imagineers, and me and my friend, we were like, there's got to be a wall here. And we're like, that's the wall.
And it
That's
was
going to be the moss wall.
Yeah.
And it happened.
We're gonna make our own wall here, which we have the Walt
I
Daily
know.
wall.
It looks nice. I like
We'll
it.
take pictures on it later.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially like for me, the Disney wall phenomenon, I didn't even know it was a thing until I joined Instagram. And that was like maybe a year ago. So I was like, what? And now they have their own accounts. Like the Bubblegum Wall has its own account, and like
Merchandise.
yeah, merchandise, pins, shirts, backpacks, literally backpacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I don't get it. Just like the rose gold ears when they were big.
Yeah, and now millennial pink ears are big.
I never even knew about millennial pink.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of those things are. I know the walls though.
You know the wall?
Yeah, because I'm on Instagram. So, you know.
Cool.
All right. So, curveball question.
All right.
My curveball question is, how do you think, or what do you think was the key for Walt Disney's, like the man himself, and how he was able to brand Disney? Like, why do you think that he did such a good job at that?
Just like Disney in what aspect? The theme parks?
Like the
or...
the culture, I would say. Like, why is the culture of Disney so strong?
It's been strong, I want to say, just because he made a character that's lovable by everyone. And he's Mickey Mouse, yeah. Mickey Mouse is the man. He's Walt's right-hand man. And he was just very approachable and happy during the struggle years of the United States. So people needed an escape route. And then he always never let media or anyone hold him back. Like when Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs first came out, people were saying, don't go and see the movie. It's not going to be health-wise. It's not good for you, not good for your eyes to see a full-length cartoon movie. And it became a phenomenon. And when he did the parks, people were like, oh, it's going to be horrible. And he's like, well, it's not going to stop me. He had a great team. The Legendary Eights, which are the 8 main Imagineers that he had, help him build his dream and continue on. Sadly, he couldn't continue his dream in California because everyone built around him. So that's why he came to Florida, to continue on and making bigger projects and never ending that dream.
Interesting. I would like to hear more about that one. What do you mean that they built around him? What happened?
So in Disneyland, when he built the property, he didn't buy more land because he wasn't sure it was going to be a big hit.
Undershot
So all hotels built around it. People started buying land around
That's why it's so
Disneyland.
small.
Exactly. And
Pretty
that's
crazy.
There's very few moments where Richie's mind gets blown on
Yeah.
this show, and I'm glad this is one of them.
So he didn't buy enough land. Basically maxed out what he had at Disneyland, and then that's when he started looking at Orlando, or around, and then settled on Orlando. Interesting.
Yeah, he created 13 fake company names to build that land.
Fake?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
they were like make-believe company names to purchase the land because he didn't want anyone to be suspected what he was building.
Genius. Genius.
That's why Disney World is so big.
Wow.
And ever growing, for that
Yeah.
matter. Oh my goodness.
I wonder if they're still doing it. Like if he was like, I thought that was gonna be a circus.
No.
That's funny.
Wow, that's really interesting. God, that's a lot. There's probably so much more too that I probably don't know.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we have our inside source consultant now. So any sort of question you have, I'm pretty sure it can be answered.
So, I guess the last question I would say would probably be like, what What life lesson would you say that you got from being a cast member?
Life lesson is what I learned a lot, especially with training, how important training is, training new people to your job and everything. And that is, I found it very, very important. And I look at that even nowadays, like making sure everyone knows everything or knows how to find a way to get something, because I feel you go to a lot of places and people just don't know. And they're like, I don't know, good luck finding it. No, like, you have a service, you need to do it, train your employees well so they can understand what's going on. If they can't find it, what reliable sources they could trust on. So I think that, and just appreciate the people in front of you, especially people working like frontline, any frontline position, cashier, food and beverage, hotels, cruise line, anything, appreciate them. And if they did an amazing job, go and let someone know about it, because it does help in the long run. It does help them to grow, and they do get mentioned by the managers when they do something right. So.
Awesome.
That is awesome. And I think that, all the knowledge that you have, and just it goes to show that cast members, they're not just there performing a service, they're there making your day.
Yeah.
And trying to make it as great as possible. So
that's true.
Definitely heed the advice and call out great cast members for great service, because it'll probably make a difference in your day and their day.
And you don't have to even go to guest relations. You could go to guest relations if you're in the park to give cast compliments, but you could even go follow Twitter at WDW Today. And if you want to give a cast compliment, just do #cast compliment.
Oh.
Yeah. And then,
fun fact. Oh my gosh. #cast compliment.
Yep. And they will, let the cast member know. And most of the time you'll see a picture of them on the Instagram or Twitter.
Solid. That is solid.
That's pretty cool. Lispy, thank you so much for coming on to the show. I'm pretty confident. I'm sure this is not going to be the one and only. So thank you so much for joining. Did you have any more questions?
No, I don't. I think that questions will come in the future, though. But but since we have our number one contributor here, I don't for now.
Cool. Well, that's it for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you're listening, we'd appreciate you to subscribe, like, comment, let us know what you think. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Medium, pretty much every single social media out there right now. We're on it, and we'd appreciate you connecting with us. We'd love to hear your feedback and, just talk about Disney together.
Very close.
Well, she would talk to you about Disney. I wouldn't. But anyway, and we have an Alexa Flash briefing. So if you do have an Alexa device, you could definitely add the Walt Daily to your Alexa Flash briefing. Some great stuff on there.
Yeah, and the Flash briefing is also available on iTunes now. So there you go.
Interesting.
So as always, thank you so much for listening. We hope this brought a little bit of magic to your day, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Yeah, I said bye.
Goodbye.